I ever did. And I tell you what they've done has been abdicated. The correcting of the record on public health is gone. That's not happening at CrossFit anymore. And yet that's what I'm trying to do in my box when I unlock the door every day. What am I dealing with? I'm dealing with clients whose doctors telling them that this shit's dangerous, that my diet makes no sense, that you're going to burn muscle if you fast, that you have to reduce your caloric intake. It says right here, look at these people. I went, send you to a website that Coke puts up. That's what the trainers are dealing with.
Hey,
and so I got a mothership that is numb to all of that, fucking numb to all of it. This is why you got the settlement. I would have been out on the settlement, the NSCA versus CrossFit, because that Glassman guy had been telling me for 6 years that we were suing Coke and Pepsi and the NSCA and the ACSM in their defense. And right at the point where a judge hands you a win in the case, you go radio silent. This is Hertz with its foot on National's throat, striking a deal.
Hey,
I would have been out there, and you're going to charge me more for that? That's leadership. I want more of that. Or what do you think? What are we looking for? I mean, there's some. I'm sure there's other affiliates that it's so much better now. It's I so like the way they run things. All that anti-sugar stuff and the soda, that's nonsense. We love soda.
Greg,
I don't
correction of public health record.
I don't know, and I never cared how popular anything was.
Have you ever used that line before? Correction of the public health record?
I don't know.
What is CrossFit? Constantly varied functional movement executed at high intensity and the correction of the public health record. Holy shit, dude.
I wondered forever how it was that public health got nutrition so fucking completely wrong. And just about every kind of excuse you could imagine, from ignorance to evil, it's all there. But my assumption is that on other fronts, let's say infectious disease, that there was probably a vital service. Then this COVID thing comes along, and I'm like, got it. All of public health is bullshit.
Hey, dude, that's really what you were doing. I was never able to pin it down. I know at some points you said, shit, the journal's going to take over the mantle from the CDC. And I'm like, is this guy crazy?
They ain't doing it.
This is, you're right. That's what you were doing. That's what one of the strongest points of your leadership was. You were correct. And that's why people wanted to get behind you. That's why people wanted to be a part of CrossFit, is because it was the correction of the public health record. I mean, obviously the value's there that you don't die of fucking coronary heart disease at 54 if you follow the protocol. But also you want to be a part of the guy who's like, what the fuck? That's not right. And there's no way anyone's going to do that anymore. There's no fucking way. It could affect the bottom line. You can't do it. It might even be, you could maybe get sued for doing that, right? Or lose your job. Now,
I got sued.
Like, do you think if you were still owned CrossFit, you would tell people not to take the injection?
Yes.
You would say that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I was there from
they're never going to say that. There's no fucking way. I'm not blaming them for that either. I'm just saying they'll never say that. That's wild.
I had made myself a serious student of the flu vaccine, not its efficacy, but its prevalence and the number of flu deaths and infections reported by the CDC. When this whole COVID thing came to light, I was 6 months into watching that number and waiting every week for the flu report to come out. And one of the things I saw was that there was a period in, I think it was October, November of 2019, the number of deaths, it was between 23 and 64,000, I think were the numbers of deaths. And I was like, what the fuck? How did, some people kind of dead, not dead? They're debating, what they're debating. The problem is the estimate of the dead from the kind of records they keep. It's a hard thing to do. You got a guy who's in a dialysis treatment and he has a heart attack and he ends up in your ICU and you see him blowing snot bubbles, so you flu test him and he's got the flu and he croaks, you know? Flu didn't help the case, but did it kill him? There's no right answer to these things. And there's so much of that with comorbidity that it's frankly a nightmare for anyone that has to give responsible numbers for that. Now, in that haze, with a test that's got provisional emergency use because we don't know its specificity or its selectivity, which means it's not a scientific test. Where and the test that the creator of the test, the fucking guy that got the Nobel Prize for it, says you can't do this with that. It's with this test, with a disease with a similar symptoms and maybe a similar morbidity, you're making this discernment. You're going to alter the course of a country, and basically, it's not fucking possible. And it turns out that's exactly what was going on. You could see it in the numbers. You could hear it in the story. Their narrative was highly flawed from the beginning. And so is it weird that Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Bhattacharya, and RFK Jr. and Jake Couey and I talk and are friends?
Not odd.
Thomas Seyfried